Hi, I'm Beth Pipe, and welcome to this NBL seminar on how to set effective boundaries in the workplace and say no. We're going to talk for 45 minutes, 45, 50 minutes about how we can help ourselves, how we can stop being our own worst enemy and set some boundaries in the workplace. But the joy of this session as well is that hopefully be some lessons and things that you can take away to think about how you can set, therefore, boundaries in other areas of your life as well. What we're going to cover in this session is we're going to look at why saying no is difficult. And it's quite an interesting one to get into. We talk about saying yes all the time, being a people pleaser, being a yes person. We don't often stop to sit down and people go, oh, I just can't say no. Somebody asked me, I just have to say yes. So we'll have to look at why is saying no difficult. And kind of the flip side of that, we're going to also then have a look at what you believe. I want to dispel some myths. Because when I talk to people and say, okay, so why do you say yes all the time? What do you think is true about saying yes? Why do you think saying yes is a good thing? It's really interesting, some of the territory that we can get into there. So we're going to explore about why saying yes might not actually always be the best answer and why there are a lot of myths there. We're going to look at the best ways to set boundaries when we're working remotely. So setting boundaries, whether you're in the office, face-to-face, got somebody sat in front of you or working remotely. But I think the challenge is with people who work remotely. And I know we see remote working as being quite a recent thing since the pandemic, that people have started to work remotely, but I've worked with organizations that were moving to remote working 10 years plus before the pandemic. For different reasons, they were moving to remote working. And they went through the same cycle that we then saw the whole world go through later on, which was they thought that when people moved to remote working, they thought their biggest problem would be people skiving. And actually what turned out to be their biggest problem was people doing too much. So how people had this idea that they could, because they could be logged onto the office 24/7, to actually stop them actually being logged onto the office 24/7. And certainly in the days now where you can get your emails on the phone, you can get Teams on the phone, you can get Zoom on the phone, how can you actually set a boundary and disconnect from the hive mind? How can you set those boundaries when you're working remotely?